The Texas Stock Exchange has been trading for 3 days now, so time to check out what's happened so far and why it's such a big deal for Wall Street. I'm joined by the Dallas Business Journal's editor-in-chief, Will Anderson. So, bring us up to speed on what's happened since the exchange went live.
Right. So Monday launches at the Texas Stock Exchange. It's kind of a symbolic launch, right?
Yeah.
And I think the backers would say that too. They're testing out their technology. They're using test stocks. But the reason it's it's a really big symbolic change because this has been building for 2 years. So there's a lot of momentum on Wall Street, and this shows kind of what a major next step is. But it'll continue to roll out with corporate listings, and the public isn't trading on it yet, but that's not too far off.
Yeah, and we know more companies will join. But for people who don't understand the basic premise, what does it mean to have a Texas Stock Exchange versus, say, the New York Stock Exchange?
Sure, yeah. So for the corporate class in Dallas, they're really excited. They talk about the way that Texas Stock Exchange has framed it as a more business-friendly exchange with fewer regulations, different requirements to list. Okay. They think that could mean a lot more companies that are currently private, so meaning they're owned, internally, becoming public companies. That can mean more wealth creation, more jobs, more business expansion, and they think that could be a good thing for this whole big swath, the entire South.
Yeah. And what does it mean for the overall effort to build out this idea of Wall Street?
Right. In the time since the Texas Stock Exchange efforts kind of became public, we've seen a lot more companies come here or expand. And of course, Goldman Sachs is raising a really big campus over there in the Uptown area. You've got tons of other banks coming, growing here. Morgan Stanley, as we reported, could be coming as well, putting a big flag. So it shows that there's all this momentum on Wall Street, and that's become a really big employment hub, a really big job creator for Dallas, especially as the downtown area loses things like the Stars we just heard about, and potentially the Mavs moving up north too. What's downtown Dallas? What's the central area going to be about? And finance has emerged as one of its primary dominant themes.
It's a time of reinvention.
Sure.
Okay, the Wall Street, the stock exchange aside, what other sort of big moves in the local financial world should people be paying attention to right now?
Sure. Yes. There's new banks coming all the time. We just reported about a new Arkansas bank opening their first Dallas, area office, and we're seeing banks moving into the area, big private equity deals. I know I just said it, but I think the Morgan Stanley news is it's huge, and the incentives were approved a couple of weeks ago. There hasn't been too much we've heard since then, but we also note that incentives were approved for Morgan Stanley in Dallas. No incentives have been approved or come up in the other area they're considering. So they've also talked about maybe they could put this in the Atlanta suburbs in Georgia, but there's no incentives there. So it's just a sign that it looks like they're really zeroing in on Dallas, on Uptown. The old Gold's Gym site, if you're familiar, off McKinney Avenue, could become a giant tower on a site that's kind of been, blighted for a long time. And that would really be one of the final nails or one of the final pieces of the Wall Street emergence.
As that Goldman Sachs tower takes shape and if this comes to fruition with Morgan Stanley, is the center of the city shifting from downtown to uptown? Yeah,
the office space for sure. Yeah. Crossing, the freeway right there. And that fits, the corporate momentum just heading northward. But the shift from downtown to uptown isn't that big of a difference, right? And the amazing thing is we talk about the loss of office space downtown. There's a ton of office space rising just across the way in uptown. And if you step back far enough, those two things look very similar. So it actually speaks to a lot more job creation and office space right in the middle of the city.
Yeah, and obviously the buildings in uptown are a lot newer.
Brand new, expensive as well.
Exactly. All right.